Aber wir haben es ja eigentlich jetzt so, dass nichts sein sollte. Ja.
Какая мешать можно?
From where? Are you saying Zanin? Which one was it?
4-7.
Village Zanin. And what do you say? Okay. Well, don't take it off in Norwegian. You've got a bloody Russian next door. Well, you say lecture. You've forgotten them. No. I never say lecture. David says lecture. Yeah. That's what I've always had to fight. You do say the V. Welcome back to Oslo. Still a few minutes to go before the start of the individual, and that will give us an opportunity to hear from one Dorothy Vera. Now, she's been immensely successful this year, but particularly in the individual events. And we've had two, she's won both of them, but not only that, she has hit all the targets. So she's hit 40 out of 40 in the individual races. That is some achievement. Well, Vera, of course, getting her first World Championship medal just 2 days ago in the pursuit. It was a tremendous performance, and she's obviously on a high after that success. Let's see what she had to say to Mickey Grice. Mickey saying, welcome. I've got a fantastic guest here, Dorothy Vera, the silver medalist in the pursuit. How do you feel about that? She said, well, to be honest, I only slept for an hour after the race. I was still lying awake at 6 in the morning. I was so bottled up with excitement. So she's a little bit tired at the moment.
Det är det norske, vi har 3 minutter og 15 meter start. Det er 94 damer som skal gi seg vei mellom 5 kilometer. Og det er 18 minutter start mellom rollene og Ebbe. Vi skal skyte 4 ganger da. Vi skal skyte 2 ganger liggende, 2 ganger stående. Og her er det altså 1 minutt i tillegg for hver runde i sin inngangsstraff. Og det mester er også med. De kan bli med Jonas og starten med 71. Mange favoritter. Vi kan jo ha et utebruk. Vi har første tyskerne med Anais. Vi har første russer på starten av Afrika og første danske på IBC.
Targets in an individual, the pressure grows as the race goes on. People expect more and more from you, and of course she's expecting great things from herself as well. Says a lot of the athletes have missed races in their preparation for the World Championships, and she's now starting to feel tired. I think we saw that in certainly in the sprint race. and all these competitions through the season just starting to sap the energy from her, and she competes in the relay and does incredibly well. You're going to be in the red bib for the individual. Does that give you wings, or does it put even more pressure on you? For sure it's going to encourage me, but the pressure is always there. She definitely wants to make the podium. She's going to try not to think too much about the crystal globe, which is also up for stakes. Good luck, says Mickey, and lots of success in the individual race, and of course the relay coming up later on, where Italy could be outsiders to take a medal. But Dorothy had a sensational season, hasn't she, Mike? And she's been a big star on the tour.
She really has. That was a really interesting interview, and alluding to the fact she is one of the few top biathletes here who have competed in every race, and clearly she's beginning to feel that.
Well, there she is out on the tracks. She looked very relaxed when she went through the ski check and rifle check. I'll tell you who didn't look relaxed was Kaisa Mäkäräinen. I have never seen her look so intense. And she can have a pretty serious look on her face, but I just was a little bit concerned. She obviously desperately wants success in this race. Having failed at the World Championships last year, she wants to do it here in Oslo.
Often if you've got that desire, and the desire is too strong, often it changes your routine.
So a very good morning and welcome to Oslo. In fact, it's just gone midday, and we are due to start the women's individual in the next couple of seconds. First person on the start line is Schutz from Hungary, 30-year-old who's not had too much success with the rifle, but she will be the one that sets the pace on the first lap. And I can tell you that a lot of the big names have chosen group number 3 today. We have to get down to number 46, not 47, before the really big names get underway. Although Vera actually is going number 28. She's slightly out on a limb, choosing group number 2, but she's drawn an early bib number in group 2. Dobrozava starting for Belarus, number 2, 30-year-old from Vitebsk, and 23rd in the sprint was a good race for her, but she dropped all the way down to 52 in the pursuit, missing a total of 8 targets. If she misses 8 today, she won't feature in the top 50, 60, maybe even outside the top 70.
Well, often when you've managed to get 20 down in an individual, it gives you hope, it gives you belief you can do it again. And of course, Dobrozava did that, finishing 12th at the first World Cup of the season. Hopefully she can carry the positivity into today.
Vanessa Hintz for Germany, and Germany hoping for great things today. She hasn't managed to get into the top 20 in an individual this season, so I don't think Hintz is going to be the one that carries the medals away for the German team. Dahlmeier, Hildebrand, certainly the 2 favourites, and I'm slightly surprised that Hintz has come in, Mike, because her individuals aren't that good. Still no run for Miriam Gustner.
Well, like you, I was surprised, and especially when Vanessa finished 61st outside those amazing top 60. She didn't start in the pursuit, missing 4 targets. Dujic, talented 23-year-old from Austria. Slovenian parents, down in the southern part of Austria, but very much hope, I think, a very bright future for Dujic. 22-year-old, I think is at 23. She's 22.
Yeah, I'd like to see her. I'd like to hear what her aims are for today. She finished 30th in last year's World Championship individual race, and that was quite a good performance from her. Lynn Persson for Sweden. There's a lot of excitement in the Swedish team. Young members, as we mentioned during the pursuit, that the women's team are now pure thoroughbred biathletes. They started as biathletes when they were 7, 8, 9, 10, and they're still biathletes. In the past, the Forsbergs and the Olofssons and have all come from a cross-country skiing background. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it does mean that the Swedes now have a slightly stronger shooting record, but still a little bit slow to compete with the best.
Very much. Kaduric, 24, and again, a lot. The Swiss team are improving so much. They have a base, they have a 30-lane range now, and they've had that a number of years, and slowly the success is growing and growing within the Swiss team.
11 minutes before Dorothy Vera will make her way into that starting enclosure. Sarah Boudry going for Canada now. field of 94 lined up today. So it's going to take some 47 minutes to get everyone out on the tracks. What do you estimate for a winning time, Mike?
Well, today, just looking at the track, a lot of the technicians talking to them say it's going to get faster. I think it'll be about 44 minutes today.
Is this our gold medalist? Is she going to make medal number 3, gold medal number 2?
I can't see her missing more than one target, which will still, I think, put her on a podium. But we'll have to wait and see. She's now in a position where she is the favourite, and that may change her psychology.
We'll have to ask her this evening what she listens to in the for her race preparation. I spoke to someone who listens to Metallica. I can't think that's too good for your shooting.
I used to listen to the bagpipes, and that's pretty harsh in your head if you listen to too much of it.
Well, not a bad crowd. It's certainly only 50% of what we had over the weekend. I guess that's understandable. They scheduled the races for later this afternoon. We've brought them forward to 1 o'clock because there was a real threat of fog. And actually, looking out over the Oslo field, Mike, we can see it no more. It has disappeared. There is definitely some weather coming in. A little bit of snow starting now, which won't favour those out on the tracks at the moment. So it could be a really interesting race. And I was just wondering what your interpretation of the start list was, Mike. If we look between, number 41 and number 59, we've got so many of the big names in there. The only three noticeable ones outside that group: Mäkäräinen, who goes 26, Vera goes 28, Dahlmeier goes 36. But in that group I mentioned, we've got the reigning champion Erleva, we've got Eckhoff, who's already got a gold, we've got Sokolova, who's leading the way in the World Cup standings, Selina Gasparin, Dorin Habert is there, Vitkova, Hildebrand, all of them in Group 3.
I think because we've got Norway's best weatherman in the stadium, he's operating out of here for 13 days, everybody trusts his knowledge. And look what's happening now, quite heavy snow is falling, and therefore those big names, I think you're right, have all shifted into the second group, 35 of them, and that for me is the safest place to go. The fog may come in, he's warned us that it might do, and that's why the race is pulled forward 2.5 hours, but it still looks like the fog might come over the hill, and that is going to change the shape of the race. Yeah,
the conditions were perfect at 10 o'clock this morning. Just wondering why they didn't race even earlier if you're going to try and avoid the fog, especially when you think we've got 46 minutes of start, and then they've got another 40 minutes out on the tracks.
It's quite interesting because now the snow is falling quite heavy, and it will have an influence on these early starters, and Nikolaisen will be one of them affected by it.
Her first race of these championships. She's not had a long drive, an hour and 45 or so down from Lillehammer, where she lives and trains. 61st in the World Cup standing, so anything in the top 30 today would be very good for Nikolaisen. It is about taking little steps every time she goes out on those tracks, and eventually getting to the top level. Lynn Persson out on the track, coming up towards 1.5 kilometres. Normally, you'd expect them to go through this stage in around 4:15. So already the snowfall is having a little bit of an effect. The fastest so far, 4:28 from Dobrozava, and Persson just outside. Not a bad start from her. That is going to be interesting, Mike. Normally, the 1.5 split doesn't give us much information. And here, actually, the information's limited because it's all uphill, so it really determines how fast they've started. It doesn't so much give us an indication of how fast the skis are going. That's better at the bottom of the climb.
Well, look at the snow now. There's a great indication. Some of the camera shots don't quite tell the picture of how heavy the snow is. And I do think that's the weatherman here is excellent, giving all the information. And I'm predicting it, within 10 minutes of when the snow is going to fall.
Well, there's actually been a lot of fresh snow. I was in a car park yesterday, and there are obviously a few cars that have been there for a week and a half, and their number plates were covered. So there was a good 2 foot of fresh snow. Not much of a base underneath that, but they've had a lot over the last couple of weeks. Winter seems to be getting later and later every year. Claire Egan for USA. The Americans will be crossing their fingers that Susan Dunkley can do something. Well, she's already done something, Dunkley, but she has not medalled yet, and she has the potential to medal.
Well, yeah, the preparation also important. The 10 minutes in the warm-up pen, having gone through all the checks, and getting your mind settled before you start your race. Patrick, she shot 0-0-0-0 in Östersund, when was it, 29th of November. And Dubrazava will be trying to keep that positivity as she enters the range.
Well, if she can think of that, that would help. If she thinks of last year's World Championships, that will not help. 0, 1, 3, 2. So 6 targets missed, and that pushed her all the way down to 68th position. The wind conditions, Mike?
Well, it is changeable a little from the left now, but it's not affecting the fall of the shot too much, possibly by up to a centimetre at worst. Last year in Östersund, it really had a strong influence, 4 or 5 centimetres, the strength of the wind there.
Now, Dubrazava, who went from 23rd in the sprint, dropped all the way to 52nd in the pursuit. Again, missing a massive target. 8 went wide on that occasion. Does that mean she doesn't like the heads-to-heads, or is it the 4-shoot races? I think it's the head-to-head that gives her problems. Well, there's the first miss. Everything seems to be drifting slightly over to the left-hand side.
That makes sense. The flags have spun around. It was central and from the left and zeroing. Vanessa Hintz, though, not altering her shooting pace. Fantastic.
Yeah, I've only got 2 complaints from these championships so far, Mike, which is pretty limited for me. One is that we don't see enough close-ups on the targets during the shoot, and we could do with a few more so we can see exactly where the shots are missing. The other is that our hotel, which has got, what, 300 people in it, has only got 10 teacups.
you love your tea.
Well, I like a cup of tea in the morning. I don't like a thimbleful that comes in the Norwegian coffee mugs. I don't think I know anyone who only has 10 teacups at home.
Okay, I'll buy you a mug.
We'll be downtown later on. Over the top of the first climb as we go back to the range, Lynn Persson now, and the wind's certainly picking up. It is going to be, the weather is certainly going to be an issue today, and this is when you want the skills of Laura Dahlmeier, who is so observant, always aware of what is going on. And I think she's the first person this season, Mike, actually the first person for a number of seasons that we have seen change the sights, having hit the first 2 targets. Brave enough to make that call, and of course she went on to clear the rest.
And I think that's an indication of why Dahlmeier is so good, is so dominant, especially at the major. She doesn't seem to feel pressure. She understands her rifle totally and how to adjust it.
Persson high right. .8 outside, but she'll be delighted to have cleared the first 5 targets. That's really the main aim. Remember, there is a difference in the individual race in that you don't do any penalty loops. You just have 1 mean minute added onto your time every time you miss a target. So the punishment is much, much higher. It's over 0.5% higher than any other race in biathlon, Mike, and therefore this is the race for the marksmen and markswomen.
It is, and that's why I still like this race. A lot of people said it's too long, it takes too long to watch it, but I love this race. And Eva Tefalvi, for those who don't ski the fastest, with respect to Eva, she has won a race at this distance because she's such a great markswoman.
It's not been going her way so far at these championships, but not a bad season for Tefalvi. She's now 37, so certainly in the top 5 in terms of age in today's race. Guisdon is another who's up there in the late 30s. But as we've seen this week, you can still win medals in your 40s. Astonishing efforts from Uliane Bjorndalen, who is lined up to race again tomorrow. He's certainly earned himself a place in the mass start with his results so far, and I guess Bjorndalen is going to race in the relay as well. Who would have imagined that at the start of the championships? Here we go with one of the race favourites, Kaisa Mäkäräinen, who was tipped to win the Crystal Globe this year. She's lying 4th in the standings. I think she's too far behind. The margin now just too big, over 200 points behind Sokolova of the Czech Republic. But Mäkäräinen's season would be fantastic if she could take a medal.
I remember just looking at Tang here, bib number 10. She was introduced to World Cup racing at 17, And she really is maturing well, and so often able to get all of the targets, and maybe a chance today for China to, hey, they've done it twice at World Championships, taken silver medal in this event. Quite amazing.
Rebo Sun was the last, and Tang, of course, shooting 10 out of 10 in the sprint, so she needs to carry that sort of form to this race here. Here we go with Dorothee Vera. This isn't a bad start. I know we've got the snow conditions, Mike, which may well affect her. We don't know, because if the snow goes on and gets any heavier, those at the back of the field are going to struggle a bit more than those at the front, because the snow did not start until 1 minute before the race time. So it's come right on cue. Vera Mike, a minute behind Mäkäräinen, not a bad person to get splits off.
Without a doubt, and Mäkäräinen, I think, again today will set the fastest time. She did 3 days ago on Sunday. I'm quite sure she's on such good form. And you said Mäkäräinen looking so focused, so serious. She wants a medal in this event.
Sometimes you can want it just a little bit too much. Certainly that was the case in Kontiolahti last year, her home World Championships. Wasn't it extraordinary? The year before at the pre-championship World Cup, she won 3 out of 3 races, and then she got herself just 1 medal in the championships last year.
Nicolaisen taking an age to set her position up, and it hasn't worked for her. She relaxed, she bedded onto the mat comfortably. Missing the first shot is painful.
Takizaki will be next for Japan. It's been a disappointing championship so far. 43rd and 32nd for the Japanese athlete. She is much better than that. She was fantastic out in Canmore, the first round of the North American World Cups.
Well,
that's a good start, though.
Takizaki, and it was 16 years ago here that a Japanese athlete, Tanaka, had her best result, 4th position, just off the podium. And that's got to give the Japanese team the look. They'll know the history. Their coaches were here at that time, and they probably talked about that last night at their pre-race meeting. So as
Takizaki comes out, half a second inside. Really good start for her. Mike, I've got 3 shooting stats. I want you to tell me which one of these is likely to hold the greatest weight in this race. 60% of the winners have shot clear in this individual in the last 10 World Championships. All the winners have hit 19 or 20. No one has missed more than 1. And only 4, which is 30% of those who've been on the podium in the last 10 World Championships, only 4 of them have missed more than 1.
Oh. Well, I think those stats will stack up today. I think we'll see a perfect shoot winning today. Dahlmeier could maybe miss 1 and still win it. So could Mäkäräinen. But I really think it's down to the accurate shooting. There's 6 people with accurate shooting could win today, depending on how the others get on.
Yurajima, 7th in the Olympic Games back in 2014, hitting 19 out of 20 on that occasion. The women's standard of shooting really is phenomenal nowadays, and often at the end of the season, the top 10 women shooting better than the top 10 men. Now, Akimova for Russia.
First of the Russians. The Russians lucky in that they have the reigning world champion. So Urlova, she's racing, but they can start 5 athletes. The only team that can. The rest are 4, 3, 2, or 1, depending on your world ranking.
Well, we haven't really mentioned the French so far today as we watch Akimova. Does she finish the shoot off nicely? She does, 5 out of 5. Good start from her, and the French usually setting the standard with the rifle. Justine Breza, starting number 19. She is 19, still very, very young. 14 times she's been in the World Cup points this year. That's great consistency for one so young, but only 25th and 22nd in the 2 events so far. She's better than that.
Oh,
that's a nice start.
That's a great start. Last year in this event, she missed 3 out of 5 first time.
The last target went down at 8:17. Here we go. Big response for Laura Dahlmeier. Already has 2 medals. Didn't race in the mixed relay. Decided to miss that. She was having a few issues with her stomach. A little delicate, some said. But it's turned out to be a good decision, Mike. And I think the German camp have to be happy with that. She just appears to be a bit of a lone operator in the German team. And you were saying this morning that compared to 10, 15 years ago, where everything worked like clockwork. It was all about discipline. You will turn up at breakfast at 6:30. You will leave breakfast at 6:45. Now they drift in and out, everyone pretty much doing their own thing as we watch Vanessa Hintz.
It's been the big change that I've noticed. 16 years ago, teams would stick together, come down at the right time. You had more of a team feel. Quite a loose setup now, and that's no bad thing, but you don't quite have the same team unity, I think, as we used to see.
Lynn Pearson back down into the range area. Remember the distance, 15 kilometres. 4 shoots, I'm sure you know, but instead of shooting prone, prone, stand, stand, it's prone, stand, prone, stand. Some have forgotten in the past, and some very noticeable athletes. Dom Ratchever, I think, most famously throwing away her opportunity of her first World Cup win. I remember Klaus Siebert, her coach at the time, with his head in his hands, watching Dom Ratchever prepare in the wrong position.
I think he knew that she was, without a doubt, destined to be a real star, and but she kept making mistakes when it mattered most. But she sorted that out, and of course became Olympic champion 3 times over.
Well, it's not quick, but it doesn't matter. All 5 have gone down. 10 out of 10 so far for Pearson. And that time of 19:38 from Vanessa Hintz is going to be well beaten. She'll be well over a minute inside that. And the Swede really setting the mark at the moment. And anyone of her ability who hits 20 out of 20 can be thinking in terms of ending up in the top 10, even though they're some 2.5 minutes slower than many of the athletes out there.
What do you think? What are the chances of the reigning champion taking it again 1 year later? She's just started.
Well, I wouldn't put the 20p that I've got for the public toilet on it. Not a chance. I just can't see it happening. There's no indication this year. I know she's had a podium, Mike, but I haven't seen any indication that her shooting is there. Did she get lucky last year with her start position? Possibly in Kontiolahti. I know she stunned anyone. And actually, Mike, starting number 93, she was the latest starter ever to win a women's individual.
Yeah, quite unique it was last year. Mäkäräinen looking good. Oh, until I said that.
That was high right. The second one was high. So, well, everything drifting high right.
Without a doubt, look at the flags from left to right. It's blowing the bullet, if you like, into that top right segment, or influencing it, not blowing it strong.
Left to right, but also coming over her left shoulder as we watch Tyrrell Eckhoff. Now, the last individual, she shot 0-0-0 and then missed 3 on the last shoot. In the pursuit the other day, she went 1-1-1 and missed 4 on the last shoot, but she has now at least got a clear shoot under her belt, and of course she walked away with the gold medal in.
Reducing her chances. Tang, we mentioned her good shooting and the history. It's been a long time since the Chinese team were performing at the top level.
Well, that's a shame that Hauser has missed at this stage. She missed on the first shoot last time round, missed 2 actually in Kontiolahti, and then cleared the last 3 shoots. So maybe she'll just cast her mind back to that and will come away with a 19 out of 20 today, which is still good enough for top 15 for Hauser, Austria's number 1. Yuko Takizaki looked very solid and has still got a good time after the first shoot. 8:35 her leading time, so she's the fastest after shoot number 1. Only 8 nations have been on the podium in this event over the last 10 World Championships. It would be nice for Japan to join them. Switzerland could certainly join them. America could join them. The Czech Republic are already there. Holmenkollen, back in 2003, the world champion. She won by the smallest winning margin, just 8 seconds. Forward lean, Mike, works for the first 3 shots usually.
Looks good. I mean, it's purposeful. As you say, the head is way forward onto that rear side, but she missed it at 9 o'clock. I think that was a snatch, a let's get out of here kind of feeling, and rushing that final shot.
But I just can't believe that the muscles in the back, up the back of the spine, in that forward-leaning position, you can put your fingers on the muscles that run up the back, and if you lean forward, they tense up. It doesn't matter for the first 10-15 seconds, but then you start to strain, and it just reduces your chances of hitting in those last couple of shots.
I agree with you. Gasparin, silver medal Olympic Games 2 years ago. And you're absolutely right, Patrick. If you look at the summer shooters, when they're in the stand position, there is no neck tension. The sights are brought right the way back, but you can't really do that in biathlon because you're setting the sights to be good in the prone and also good in the stand. In the prone, the head's way further forward, so it's a bad marriage in biathlon. The summer Olympic shooters, they can just set it entirely for the stand, so that, as you say, the neck is upright and there's no lean forward at all.
Anything against putting two sets of sights on? Here is someone that your skis are running well. Dahlmeier starting number 36, so coming in for her first shoot of the day.
I'm a little surprised, Patrick. I know we saw her start so easily, but she's 10 seconds off the pace, so she hasn't really, I don't think, got into a race yet.
It's a long old race, and as we know from chatting to past champions, the process of winning is far easier than the media duties you have after the race. And Dahlmeier up and down to the city centre, lots of requests for interviews. She's only missed one shot at these championships so far. It was in the first shoot in the sprint, and she's gone and missed that third shot. The same one going wide as Dorin Habert. The big names not performing as we would have expected at the moment. That creates an opportunity for someone else. Justine Brézard, the first one goes wide. Needs the remaining targets, but there's a second miss, and I think that's her chance of a top 5.
Just thinking, can you think of any other sport where that moment, that split second, costs so much? When you're squeezing the trigger, you know, 1/100th of a second, and it throws a minute onto your time. It's few sports add so much pressure.
Well, there are plenty of sports where missing by a millimetre can cost you championships. All the precision sports, golf, snooker, croquet. Now, Franziska Hildebrand, is she going to be the one who clears 20 out of 20 today? Karin Oberhofer, it's not quite been the season we were expecting from her. It started well in Östersund at the beginning of the year, and she's thrown her first one wide. What a dreadful start for Oberhofer. 14th in the Olympic Games in this discipline. She was 17th last year in Kontiolahti. And Oberhofer has a big task on her hands now. Hinks looking to push it up to 13 out of 15, which is far more respectable than 8 out of 10. Shavatová for the Czech Republic throws one wide. Mike, the light has changed dramatically from when they zeroed. The snowfall as heavy as it's been at any stage now, but the intensity of the light, I haven't got a readout, a reader in the commentary box, but there is no doubt that it's harder to see the fans on the other side of the stadium than it was half an hour ago.
It is, and you know, the little bit we did at the start of the programme on the sights, the coaches will now maybe be regretting they haven't put bigger foresights into some of their athletes' lives.
Well, those who've put small ones in.
Just good news for the British team. Amanda Lightfoot, she so often at major championships performed so much better. Delighted to see that she's in 12th position after the prone shoot, with so many having now gone through.
Well, that's a great start from Amanda. The season we haven't seen her this season. She's been so far off the pace and shooting so badly. So to get 5 out of 5 on the first shoot in this individual, let's hope she can keep that going. She certainly has the potential to make top 25, certainly top 30, but she's going to have to shoot 19 or 20 to achieve that. One thing to her favour, though, Mike, so many of the big names have missed already. What will Tyrrell Eckhoff do?
It's a surprising day. Tyrrell Eckhoff into the range nearly, 7 seconds faster than anybody, but taking time to recover as she sets her position up.
She is one. She's got the skills for shooting, Mike, but she doesn't have the head. We heard Raphael Poiré say that at the beginning of the championships. He was as surprised as anyone to see her winning that sprint individual, but 2 misses on the first shoot, and she started how she finished in the pursuit.
I think it's fair to say, Patrick, and in Tiril Ekhov's mind, she'll know missing 2 has taken her off the podium.
But if the Norwegian coaches do their job, they will tell Ekhof that Vera has missed, that Dahlmeier has missed, that Mäkäräinen has now missed twice. So do not give up in the early stages.
So true, so true. Missing well, and the speed that Tiril Ekhov can ski, maybe I'm completely wrong, and she may outski everybody by a minute, 2 minutes even.
Well, Tiril Ekhof, as you say, 5 seconds quicker now than anyone. Susan Dunkley with the second fastest time. She's coming in to shoot in the prone position, and she's wearing bib number 46. We will stay with Dorothee Vera first, though. On to her second shoot. 1 miss already. She can ill afford another. Susan Dunkley, top right-hand corner of your screen for USA. She hit the podium out in Presque Isle. Can she do it here when it really matters? This is good from Vera. Solid, reflex shooting. Oh, she's got number 5 wide, perhaps just a little bit too quick. So 2 misses now, and if Vera makes the podium, she will be the first to do so since 2003 with more than 1 miss. Dunkley has thrown 1 wide. Mike, we were talking about the light. I'm just checking my glasses to see that it's not them fogging up, but actually it is getting worse by the minute. So, sun up, sights up, sun down, sights down. We haven't seen anyone adjust the sights vertically.
No, we haven't. Maybe there'll be some advice. Certainly the coach is telling the athletes exactly where the fall of shot was. But of course, the individual, you come in first time, you shoot prone. You come in the second time, you shoot standing. So there's a huge gap, somewhat 25 minutes between each of the prone shots. Say some 20 minutes, I should say.
Sokolova, the World Cup leader. Lots at stake today. Obviously the world title, but she's desperate for the overall individual. If she wins today, she could get the individual Crystal Globe, and all she has to do is to finish in the top 5 of every race to the end of the season. Now that third target, it's like it's been super glued, Mike. All the big names are missing it.
I found that was quite amazing. Everything there, her routine there was immaculate. She didn't stress. You could feel the relaxation, her relaxation through the rifle. And she missed the third shot.
Yeah, Lin Tang had such a good opportunity to go into the lead. Now, this is going to cost her a few seconds to sort out. She doesn't want to ski the rest of this loop with a parachute hanging off the back of her head. Now, what's gone on there?
Well, that is unusual. You know your drills. You do this 6 days a week, or sometimes 7 days a week. What is going on there, I don't know. She just...
yeah, I think took the hat off with the carrying harness.
The harness hit her head and dragged the hat off underneath it. Anais Bescond is absolutely one of my outside favourites today. You know, not one of the favourites, and often these are the ones who shoot best on the big individual day.
Takizaki with an opportunity onto her third shoot. There's a change of the sights. That looked like 2 or 3 clicks to the right.
It's unusual. Anais Bescond has the eye patch, if you like, covering the right eye and not the left, although the left eye is closed. That's a great start from Anais.
Takizaki with 1 miss, and we'll let you know exactly how that affects her.
We haven't seen Guzik, but Guzik leading the way after the first shoot. Well, now it's Bescond just taking her by 1.9 seconds.
So Bescond, Guzik, Takizaki, Hintz and Brazar, an unlikely looking leaderboard after the first shoot. The second shoot, Persson, Tang, Ransom of Canada's just gone into 3rd position, having cleared all the targets. Well done to her. And Moon of Korea is down in 7th, having hit 10 out of 10. Marie Dorin Habert, this is her first shoot. Looking for that time of 8:33. It's going to have to be a reasonably quick shoot. Most of them coming off, firing that last shot at around 8:17. She's still got a bit of time to spare, and she clears the lot. Marie Dorin is looking very, very solid. Remember, she was trying to defend the sprint and the pursuit titles. She's lost both of them, but she's done it extremely well, Mike. A silver in the sprint, a bronze in the pursuit to add to the 2 golds that she got in Kontiolahti. She now moves into the gold medal position, but it's very, very early days. Laura Dahlmeier with 1 miss. The pressure has increased on this second shoot. Vera, remember, missing 1 in the first prone and the first stand.
And look at the clock, it's way past Julia Gima's time of 17:37, who's cleared. You just feel that Dahlmeier isn't going to miss any more. She missed the first 1 of the first 5, but you just get the feeling she's going to get the next 15. Gerald Honig, no expression there, but he's got to believe in her again that she will get the next 15. A lot of movement there. Akimova's rifle, then between each shot, often the rifle is steady.
13 out of 15 so far. Hildebrand nearest the camera. First shoot. Will she be able to get the third one down? Can you believe it? What is going on?
That's so unusual. Why the middle shot? That is so strange. The wind isn't overly difficult. Look at the flags. It's not that difficult today, but it's a World Championship.
Well, Dorin Habert, as we saw, is the leader after the first shoot. Zhima of Ukraine has gone through to take the lead away from Persson after the second shoot, and still trying to work out whether the ski speed is getting any quicker or whether the snow has slowed it down. The snow actually easing off now and the light improving, so again they're going to have to be very, very alert to the conditions.
Sharvatova, very strong, very powerful athlete, and fairly new to biathlon. But I think she's mastering it so well, having come from the cross-country skiing background.
Marta Olsbu, who played a major part in Norway's success in the mixed relay. Norway getting the bronze medal in the mixed relay last Thursday. Well, the time is good, Mike. The time is fantastic from Olsbu. Now, is that the first indication? I know she's a quick skier, but you wouldn't expect her to take some 10 seconds out of Dorin Habert. And I wonder whether the tracks are now starting to go well. But just as I say it, the snow starts again, and that might slow them down on this next lap. Erlova of Russia. What was the time? 5 out of 5. I missed the time. She got the last target down.
The time was excellent. I think she'll set the new fastest time after the stand shoot, and she's looking pretty sharp today.
Is she going to do the double? Can you believe it? I just can't see it happening, but you never know. You never know. She proved she could cope with the pressure last year. Here she comes. 2 shoots completed. Both of them are clean. 17:37, just a little bit too quick, but she's only 6 seconds outside, and she's a lot closer than she was at this stage of the race out in Kontiolahti, and of course she went on to win it.
That is so true, but she looked a little different for me there in shooting. There was positivity, there was no hesitation. And Erlova, her third shot was fired, and her pulse was still over 170 beats per minute. So coping with a very high intensity.
Lynn Persson of Sweden has gone through her third shoot clear, and here she is just missing that first one in the fourth. She's got the fastest time after the third shoot, but that is going to do some damage. Oh, and that's going to do even more. Suddenly the nerves have got to her. Kaisa Mäkäräinen started 26, her third shoot, and Mäkäräinen, just looking at her position, she went 1-1-1, so that's 3 misses for Mäkäräinen. She's going to have to wait for the mass start, I think, Mike, to have a chance of taking a gold. 45 coming in. Actually, Susan Dunkley just coming in wearing 46. Hopefully we'll pick up on her shooting score. Guzik going out, clear on both. And this looks good. It looks tremendous. 9.4 inside. And suddenly Poland have the race leader.
Guzik, so many times, she was the first ever female biathlete to hit 20 out of 20 in this race in the Olympic history, and always puts it together well on the big day.
Vera surely needs the last 10 targets. Needs number 3. She's got it this time. Last one. Stay focused. Down it goes. That looks much better. More rhythm, more flow in the shoot that time, Mike. She says it's got to be run on automatic. I'm not convinced that the first 2 were.
It didn't know. She was hesitant. She took longer to settle her position. She wasn't sticking to routine.
Well, she's got a chance now because Lynn Persson has gone and missed 2 on her last shoot, and Vera only 49 seconds behind, having missed 2 more targets. So if she does clear the last 5, she's got a chance of getting the podium. And if she finishes in the top 10, I'm pretty sure she's going to secure the Crystal Globe for the individual discipline. Here is the only woman that's won the individual Crystal Globe, having won all the World Cups. But that was back in 2014, and there were only 2 individuals. She didn't win the Olympic title that year, though. Fantastic.
You just feel that the first shot out of the first 5 is most likely the only miss that Sokolova will give us today. She's got her determination back, I think. This will be fast.
I must say I believed you when you said it about Lara Dahlmeier, but you're probably going to say it about Hauser as well.
She probably will go on to hit the next 15.
I do think they're starting to relax into the race a little, especially when you've made a mistake early. You've suddenly, okay, I've probably thrown away my chance of a win. But just the body language looks a little less tense, and maybe they're just gaining in confidence on how to deal with the conditions here in Oslo, which haven't been easy today. Anais Bescond, no mistakes so far. And at 17.28, she can match that if they all go down. She can more than match it. Guzik's 9 seconds ahead of Shima. Bescond could end up 9 seconds ahead of Guzik. Fabulous shoot so far. Moon Ji-hee.
Well, there's evidence that the wind is. Look at the flags there. They're 10 meters from the firing point, very much picking up from the left.
Here we go with Chakizaki again. Missed the last shot on the first stand. This time, no mistake. So 18 out of 20, that is good. And it's going to be another solid result from Chakizaki, but she's one of those athletes that needs 20 out of 20 if she's going to take the title at a race like this, or even to take a medal. Dorin Habert, one of the only big names not to have missed a target so far. There are a few who are still clear. Moon is clear. Persson is clear after 3 shoots. We know Persson missed on shoot number 4. 16:49 on the clock. The lead is changing again, and it's going to be 1 and 2 to France. And they've had a sensational championship so far. The French leading the medal table. 3 golds to Martin Fourcade, one of those, of course, in the mixed relay.
Well, I'm just thinking, Patrick, I know the French are great, but in terms of the individual race, we have to go back to, well, the last time the World Championships were held here, 2000. And Corinne Neogray, hitting 20 out of 20, took the gold medal.
Coco, as she was known. What a great athlete she was. Really set the ball rolling for the French. And actually, France, Mike, is one of the only teams where the women have been as strong as the men, and continually so.
And I think partly because from very early on, they've always had joint training camps. They haven't separated the teams, and I think that's helped them be equal and better than the men, often.
Now, you promised us that Dahlmeier wouldn't miss again.
Oh no, that's
it's that middle target again. That was low right at around 4 o'clock,
wow.
And it could be very, very costly. 18 out of 20, the best that Dahlmeier can do now, and already some time outside Persson's time, but we have to remember that Persson has missed. Well, just to update you on the position of those who've completed the first 4 shoots, Takizaki is leading on 37.42 with 2 misses. Tang in second for China. Japan and China and Sweden, the leading 3 nations after 4 shoots. There's an unusual leaderboard for you.
It's incredible.
But things will change.
Nikolaisen, first Norwegian to go through all the 4 shoots. She's missed 5, 1-1-3-0.
Now, Mike, you've got you're Marie-Dorin Habert's coach for the day. What information are you going to give her? Bearing in mind that she's got the lead after 2, she'll probably know that anyway. What other information would you give her at this stage of the race?
The only thing I would give her, knowing that there's another prone, a lying down shoot coming up, is show her the fall of the shots from the previous, and then let her make her own adjustments, her own decision on what she should do. It's the only advice I'd give her. I'd let her run her own race.
High at 12 o'clock for Dorekova for that second shot. The last 3 going down in rapid succession. That would have been a useful time. She would have been out in around 17.25. That would have been competitive. Marta Olsbu, after the first shoot, she still has the fastest time, 8:18, 12 seconds inside that of Marie-Dorin Habert.
Oh, well, that's exactly how not to make it happen at a World Championships at home, to shoot the perfect 5 and then to miss 3 out of 5. She didn't look settled at all, Ulfbu. This is great from Italy, and maybe an opportunity for Rungaldia to take this title. She used to shoot right-eyed. Scardino, that was damaged. They've adjusted the rifle. She's now sighting through her left eye and still equally as good. I think that's amazing to make that big adjustment to your technique. She always takes some 8 seconds longer than the rest of the best, but she often gets all 20.
Well, she's on 15 out of 15, 27.19 the leading time. Scardino is going to be inside that. Well, that's a tremendous run from her. Remember, she took the Olympic bronze medal back in 2014. So, Belarus, without the services of Daria Domracheva, doing very nicely at the moment. And Katarina Erler, she's not going to give up this title easily, is she, Mike?
No,
15 out of 15, I can't believe it. 27.03, she's got another 12 seconds or so before the clock will stop. It's going to be tight, but we could well have Belarus ahead of Russia, or it might be the other way round.
Well, Urlova hitting all 20 last year, she'll only be, well, keeping that thought out of her mind. She'll just be going through process, maybe for the first time in, well, ever in fact, that we'll get 2 consecutive years with the same world champion. It's not
Tora Berger.
Tora Berger, I beg your pardon.
Two world championships plus an Olympics to go with it. So she won in 9, 10 and 11, is that correct?
Sorry, 12, 13 and the Olympics 14.
12, 13, 14. I mean, you have an Olympiad behind. Now, Guzik, good so far. 26.02. She's plenty of time in hand to go ahead of Erlova. Oh, not now. Not now. That second shot, very, very high. I think that looked like a snatch. 3, 4 and 5, pretty central. But her chances have gone. Not altogether, but they've been drastically reduced, just like Pearson's were on that last shoot. 3.3 outside Dubrazava. Now, Dorothy Vera. 36.57. It's a remarkable recovery. So the last 10 have gone down, and Vera certainly has a chance of top 5. I think that's good enough to secure the Crystal Globe for the individual, Mike, but it is not the 20 out of 20 that she desperately wanted today. She has 1 medal. She wanted 1 more. She's still got a chance in the mass start, but I think today was her best chance.
It was, and her mindset is so strong, and to only have slept 1 hour the night that she won that silver medal, that she buzzes. She's got so much energy. And I wonder if that's just taken a little edge off her for this event.
Did you used to glance up at the big screen to see exactly where you were after you came out of the stadium?
I often wasn't threatening the lead, but I certainly, well, I was in second place for a lot of the race at the Olympics once in this event, and it only puts you off. You've just got to, I think, stick to process.
Sokolova just needs to be consistent. Her main goal this season is to win the Crystal Globe, but it would be nice to have a world title with it.
When you look at Sokolova's time, 26:43. Now look at Eurlova's time, 26:56. And yet Sokolova's missed one more target, so 1 minute extra. So skiing very well.
26:55. She will only be some 5 or 6 seconds off the pace of the leader, and you sort of sense that if Sokolova can go clear on the last shoot, she could chase Urlova down. So she's in with a good chance here. 4 wins already this season, 10 podiums in total, and she's had 20 out of 21 races in the top 10. That's a fantastic record from Sokolova, and that's why she is the world #1. Good shooting from Hauser. Now, what about Anais Bescond? The French are looking good.
Anais, her only, if there is a weakness, is the last shoot, the standing. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Jean-Paul, normally a smile when it's going this well, but nothing there.
Urlova's time of 26:55 is under threat. Bescond just needs to keep it going steady. The margin, well, that is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What was she? I know she was had good odds with the bookies this morning, Mike.
Well, that's it. I mean, when you look at the history of Anais, at the major events, she seems to, and some athletes do, she seems to raise her game, but she was something like 60-1 this morning for this title.
Well, I know who's paying for dinner tonight if she comes home. Let's see how Dorin Habert does. This is shoot number 3, trying to keep pace with her teammate. 4 out of 4. Watch the right eye, looks very focused, and down it goes. So Dorin Habert, it could spoil Bescond's party.
But that was a masterclass there from Dorin Habert. And the amazing thing with Dorin Habert, I know her husband Louis is right beside us in the commentary booth there, in the same hotel as the French room. It's really struggled today to find a babysitter, so they're in with a little girl who's what, a year and a half, and it's quite tough. I don't think the team's always overly supportive of that concept, but they have to make do, and she's making it do very well at the moment.
9 athletes with the perfect score after 3 shoots. Laura Dahlmeier is not one of them. 36:57 from Rungaldier. She can certainly match Dorothee Vera, but she needs them, and she needs them fast. Needs to lead for range at around 45. She should do that if she has a normal shoot. Nice. So the same shooting score as Dorothee Vera, just fractionally quicker on the tracks, I think. Where was she shooting? Oh, she was quite a long way down the range, so it's going to be tight between Laura Dahlmeier and Dorothee Vera on this last lap. A good race, no doubt. The German will get splits on the Italian over the last loop, but I cannot see those performances winning. We still have, as I said, 9 athletes having shot clear after the 3rd shoot. Amongst them, Dorin Habert, Bescond is there, Urlova, the defending champion, Scardino of Belarus, 15 out of 15. And they're going to start coming in fairly shortly. Sukala is the fastest of those who has missed a target. She's hit 14 and lying in 5th position at the moment.
I'm a little surprised that Franziska Hildebrand had her ski time. I know she's got 1 minute more penalty than Dorin Habert, but somewhat 40 seconds off the pace. Nice.
Yeah, I must say, I would have bet my house on Hildebrand making a top 10 today, but that looks slow, having missed one early on. She's lost a minute or so to Dorin Habert. Justine Brezard into the finish, 02.00. And the time, just over 46.5 minutes exactly. 7 seconds inside the best. Oberhofer, she's matched Vera shot for shot so far, and Vera cleared all 5 on the last shoot.
Well, the wind flag's very stable at the moment, a quiet patch, and the fog that threatened to come up the fjord, it looked like it was going to cover the stadium, but so far so good. Just the top of the ski jump that's covered in the famous fog. The Italians shooting well today, 18s out of 20, 19s out of 20. Rongaldier, that's good shooting. And without a doubt it will be the new lead time.
.46.30 for Justine Brezat, beaten by a good 30 seconds by Alexia Rongaldier. That's a sensational run, her best individual of the season, 29.7 inside. Now here's a potential winner, Scardino. She is not the fastest, she's 4th fastest of those who hit 15 out of 15.
She didn't put the bolt all the way forward, she had to recock it. It wouldn't have fired, and that's put her off.
A little bit lucky with shot number 3 at 9 o'clock.
You can tell with not pushing the bolt all the way forward, she's almost in paralysis of what is normal. She's concentrating so much.
19 out of 20. Has that taken her chance away? Here is the defending champion. Number 19 has gone wide. She gets the last shot, and Erlova might have thrown away her chance of defending the title, but it could well be a medal, and the first medal going to Russia today. That's been a very strong performance indeed. And here comes Kaisa Mäkäräinen. Not a day she'll want to remember. 1-1-1-0. One individual race remaining for the great Finn to turn what's been a disappointing season for her into a memorable one. Last chance. Well, an extraordinary race, and it's hard to understand exactly what's going on out there. Mäkäräinen looking very frustrated when she finished her run, Mike. Do you think that's with herself, or do you think it's with the conditions, or do you think it's an element of the teamwork?
I think it's with herself. She knows how to hit targets. She's done it before. She took the bronze medal last year, missing 2. She missed 3 this time. Well, this is fast and music. Beautiful. Well, this is on the edge, going to be the latest best time exiting the range, 4th time.
Dorothy Vera with a strong finish. She was in 2nd place after the 4th shoot. Has she gone ahead of Rongaldier? Yes, she has. And that's a tremendous last lap. 16 seconds out of her teammate to put Italy 1 and 2 in the early stages. Only 28 across the line. We've got a big field today, 94 starters, and some real talent starting late on. So we'll try and track down the likes of Vaya Simarenko, who was the penultimate starter today, number 93. But first, the small matter of the world number 1, Gabriela Sokolova.
I think Zdenek Vitek scoping must feel quite confident here.
Flaming red hair. Will it bring her the success that Kati Wilhelm had?
Oh!
That is going to make life difficult. She now has the same score as Dorothy Vera, who's on 37 minutes. I think she might just be inside. Looks to me, Mike, to be 5 or 6 seconds ahead of Dorothy Vera, maybe a fraction more than that.
Well, there's Vitek, and I think he's amazed with that. Sokolova's got such a good mindset for the final 5 shots.
Now, who has got the head for the final shoot? No one so far. Erlova has failed, Sokolova has failed, but Anais Bescond has shown that she has many, many times before. Have a look at the body language. How relaxed is she? This is when it gets tough. she might just have handed the title to Dorin Habert, who'll be in very shortly indeed. Dorin Habert started number 52, just exactly a minute behind her teammate. And just having a look, I think she's coming around the corner into the range as we go back to Lisa-Theresa Hauser on the home straight now. 19 out of 20, it's as good a score as we've seen all day, and 45-46 won't be matched, but it's a tremendous run from the Austrian, and she takes third for now.
Well, as soon as you said these are the hard shots, when Anais was shooting, you felt the pain. She was almost thinking the same thought.
Okay, what about Dorin? 2 titles last year. She's thrown the first one wide, needs the remaining 4. The time is still good. Down it goes. What a fantastic recovery from Dorin Habert. She matches the best shooting score. Will she outski the rest of the field? 35-17. Remember, Vera's put in a tremendous last lap, but Vera missing 2 targets. I think that really has ruined her chance. It's a ski race to the line. Bescond leading on 35-38, and Dorin Habert is going to be a few seconds inside. 8.3.
Well, on paper, we'd always, I certainly would put Dorin Habert ahead of Anais Bescond in terms of ski time, 8 seconds. And Anais Bescond will be given the information that she's down 8 seconds effectively. The French team will share that information, and she'll need to have the fastest final 3 kilometers of her career if she wants to take that gold medal ahead of her teammate Dorin Habert.
Laura Dahlmeier on 45.07. It's been a good finish from Dahlmeier with 18 hits out of 20, 19 hits out of 20, and the title might well have been hers, but this could be good enough for a medal. She's certainly going into the lead when she crosses the line. Germany pushing Italy down into second and third, and Laura Dahlmeier, who already has 1 gold to her name, could well be adding to her medal tally.
Well, Dahlmeier in her first race here, the sprint competition, she took 14 seconds out of the next fastest in the final 2.5 kilometers. This time it's 3 kilometers, she'll probably take more.
A bronze and a gold. What colour will it be today? Vikova. She can join the rest on 19. A little delay, but it was well worth it. She saved herself a minute's penalty.
I think she's got herself, well, into 3rd place, exiting the range.
Well, Vikova's had a really good championships when you look at the individual races, Mike, but it's been slightly marred by her performance in the mixed relay where she took the first leg. Is she just not a relay performer? Does she feel the pressure even more?
I think she's not a mass starter, and I'm amazed that she still is put into that first leg position. She's not ideal at coping with it.
Guzik charging towards the finish now. Dahlmeier's time of 41.26. She's only just outside that, but Dahlmeier missing 2, so Guzik not as quick as the German. Hildebrand, a bad mistake early on, missed target number 3. That's a great finish, a really solid finish from Hildebrand, but the ski speed is not there today. There's something not quite working for Hildebrand.
Lost her form without a doubt. She was much faster in December and January, and what a pity to lose your ski speed, your form at the major championships. Well, it's good to see the track. This is the high point of the course, or coming up to the high point of the course. Gabi Sokolova must be feeling quite confident at the moment for, I think, just a new fastest time. And she will be so disappointed looking at the results tonight, seeing that last shot miss. 18 out of 20. She knows she's better than that. Well, it's plus nearly 8 seconds.
Sokolova, 6th place after the final shoot at the moment, 1:26 behind. We said she needs to finish in the top 5 to secure her Crystal Globe, top 5 in each of the races remaining. The mass start here, and then 3 more individual races out in Khanty-Mansiysk for the final tour, and actually all the athletes going straight from here to Khanty-Mansiysk, Mike. Hardly a minute's rest.
Oh, it's a tough program, it really is. Oh, look at that time from Anais, it's brilliant.
She's not going to throw that away. She will not throw that away. So Bescond looking good, but it's her teammate Dorin Habert, who is 8.3 ahead. Hildebrand at 1:10 is out of it, but in third place after that fourth shoot. So it's not been a bad run from Hildebrand. Vitkova in 4, Guzik in 5. They are just seconds apart between 3 and 5, so the positions could well change. And Sokolova's got to produce the lap of her life if she's going to get herself anywhere near the podium. She's got some 16, 17 seconds to make up in the last 3 kilometres.
Unlikely. Dorin Habert, what a world championship. Gold first race, silver second, bronze third race, and looking pretty good for the gold again today.
Oliver coming down the last 75 metres now. It was a valiant defence, but it's not quite come off. That missed target has cost her the chance of gold. And Dahlmeier's time of 45.20, far too good. Losing a bit of pace in the closing stages, Mike. But I think Oliver will be delighted with the way the first 3 quarters of the race went.
That one minute mistake, and there's the shake of the head. She knows how much that has cost her. She wouldn't have taken the gold, even if that last shot had gone down.
Yeah, and it was a split round. You were talking about millimetres costing you a lot of places. It's cost her some gold today, there's no doubt about that. Anais Bescond, likewise, missing on that last shoot. This would have been such a good time. If she'd hit them all, she would have had a 52-second lead over Dorin Habert. Just looking for those who've started really late. I can't actually see anyone threatening the leaders, Mike. 74, Dreisegger of USA. She's gone well. She's in 22nd position. 1:00. Crawford of Canada started 75. She's in the top 15 at the moment, but has yet to shoot her final 5 shots. But she'll be delighted with the way things have gone so far. And actually, Vignettes, we need to keep an eye out for her. She's gone 0:00 and started number 72, so is yet to get to her final shoot. Is she going to be the first one to clear all 20? Or in fact, the second one, because Julie Ransom of Canada has cleared 20, but she's some way off the pace, down in 12th position. But the best result of the season for Ransom.
Wonderful. To hit those 20 targets, it's a lot of pressure, and to do it on this big day. And in a sense, Patrick, there's only 3 distance races, 15 kilometres in the racing calendar, so it's not becoming an unknown, but it's a difficult race to master.
Are we looking at the champion? It looks increasingly likely, but we still have some very good athletes at the back of this field. And while surely it's too cold to have your top off. It was about -1 when we came down to the stadium this morning, and I don't think it's got any warmer. A sprint home for Sokolova, a good final lap. Remember, could have pushed her up close to the top 3. It's not a bad effort at all. She goes second for now. She will not stay there. Dahlmeier is number 1. Sokolova, number 2 at the moment. Just what she needs for the Crystal Globe, Mike, but not quite what she needs for the team spirit.
No, sadly, and then last year, Sokolova, remember, she thought she was going to win the race. She started number 4. She was in a leading position throughout all of the race until bib 93 came in.
Well, look at this. Anais Bescond is going to be almost a minute clear of Laura Dahlmeier. An astonishing run. She saves her best for the big occasion, and she's done it again today. 1:05 inside. Has she done enough to hold off Dorin Habert? I don't think so. Dorin Habert 3 seconds quicker up the final climb on the last lap, and now coming around the back of the stadium, behind the shooting range. Not far to go now for Dorin Habert. She started a minute behind her teammate Bescond.
Little stumble there from Dorin Habert. Her legs are absolutely exhausted.
Well, we've seen Martin Fourcade collect 2 individual golds and the gold in the mixed relay. It's now the turn of the women. France are having a sensational championships. It's not won quite yet, but Dorin Habert is going into the lead, and the margin is massive. Brilliant ski, a 12.2, 4 seconds taken off Bescond on that last lap, and Dorin Habert goes into the gold medal position. Is it going to be gold and silver for the French?
Well, the only athlete could spoil the party is Varvignet's, maybe separating them.
Yeah, Varvignet's only a minute and 6 behind after the third shoot. And if she goes clear, she might well nick it.
Ok, je suis contente, c'est bien.
C'était bien ça.
Emotional times in the French camp, and look at that smile.
Jean-Paul is definitely going to have some wine tonight, that's for sure. I mean, what a team. You've got to hit targets, you've got to ski well, but the French team can hit the targets in these in the individual more than most.
Well, if it stays this way, Mike, that will be France's 4th gold. They've got 2 more possible golds in the men's individual. They could win the men's relay. They could win the women's mass start. They can certainly win the women's relay. It's a rout.
It is, it really is. And Dorin Habert, that's her when she's tired. We know she's tired. Her sleep pattern has interfered with the stress of all these previous gold, silver and bronze.
Well, still waiting for the likes of Varvignets of Ukraine to come in for the final shoot. It won't be too long. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the action to see whether anyone can challenge Dorin Habert.
I only say the grace is that she's 16-1 for 40, and I put £3 quid in. £3 quid to win, £3 quid for 40.
Wow, 180 would be nice for that victory. How much do you miss that by? So shall I go on 4 and
Yeah, see, let's
71's gone through, so Varvignets must have gone through.
something too sheer.
Yeah, I know, but she must have had a meltdown. Unless she hasn't.
No,
She'll be the next one.
Yeah,
She'll be
she's in now.
Here she is. She'll be.
Big wisdom as well. Unlikely, but never know. That was so good. That would be the story. Go on, God. She could do it.
Shut up, Ziggy. Welcome back to Oslo. We've just seen some strong finishing from the Germans. We still have France leading the way in this women's individual. Rosanna Crawford has had a very good race so far, and I think the Canadians will be happy with their day's work, Mike.
Yeah,
Great shooting from them.
Yeah, Ransom only missing 1, or personal best of the season.
Not missing any.
Sorry,
She's
not
gone
missing
clear.
any. 13th position after the 4th shoot. And now Rosanna's opportunity. And I think that the Canadian team, when the World Cup went to Canada, they didn't fly off for the big journey up to Presque Isle. Look at the pulse, 178 beats a minute on the first shot.
Cross your fingers and your toes if you're a Canadian supporter. It's gone down.
Yes.
Great finish from Rosanna Crawford. Well, it's a family with fantastic pedigree, and Crawford has done them proud today. That's 19 hits out of 20. Not quick enough to challenge the leaders, Mike, but if we get 2 Canadians in the top 20, that is a very good day. We might even get 2 Canadians in the top 15. But other names we need to watch out for. Gwizdon of Poland has gone clear and is pushing very hard, having hit 15 out of 15. So she's got the final shoot to come. Varvignets, incidentally, who we were speaking about before the commercial break, has missed 1 on that last shot, and it's meant that she's 131 off the lead. She would have gone into bronze medal position had she hit all 5. So I think Gwizdon, Mike, is the only one that can challenge the race leaders. But even then, you would have to back Dorin Habert to outski Guisdon by at least one shot.
I think so. I think you're absolutely right. But isn't it interesting? Guisdon, she's the only athlete in the whole field of, what, 94, who was racing here 16 years ago when the world champs last came here. She is the only one, and I would love to see her get on that podium. She needs another 5 hit targets to stand herself a decent chance of doing that.
4 early misses for Fanny HOLMENKOLLEN, ruining her chances.
I think the Norwegians will be disappointed today. The best after the 4th shoot. Got to go an awful long way down the results, in fact down into the 30s.
But Mike, she will have looked at that result and said, I missed 4, I'm 3.5 minutes behind. Had I hit 20, I could have won it. So at least she knows she could win.
I agree, but yes, to have the ski speed's one thing, but yeah, they have to be able to hit 18, ideally 19 out of 20, or 20 out of 20.
Amanda Lightfoot now down in 39th position, incidentally, the best or the only British athlete here today, 0-1-0-1. So actually shooting very well, 10 out of 10 in the prone, 8 out of 10 in the stand. That's the best shooting performance and her best position of the season. But with the likes of Shamilova and Guisdon and Varvignet still to finish, she's going to be pushed out of the World Cup points and will probably finish somewhere down around 52, 53.
That's great news for the British team. They need some good news right now, and hopefully that'll attract some sponsorship. And Amanda, so often getting her best performance at the majors. 34th she's had in this race in Hanty-Mansijsk World Champs, the 36th in Ruhpolding, and a 43rd. So often putting it together when it matters most.
Well, I'm with you there, but it pales into insignificance when we compare it to what the cross-country guys have done this season. Again, 2 of them getting through to the knockout phases. The 2 Andrews having a sensational season.
Oh, Youngie and Muzzy and Youngie, podium for Andrew Young in sprint competitions at the World Cup. It is quite outstanding.
Here comes Hammerschmidt into the finish, who featured in Hogfilson. She's missed lots of rounds of the World Cup, and I think still looking a little bit race rusty. Disappointing final shoot for Honish of Poland. Guisdon is flying the Polish flag at the moment. Just trying to track Guisdon down, actually, Mike. Won't be long before she comes in. Just checking to see whether she's been through 11.2.
Now, we were talking about Pigrushna at the start of the programme in the ad break, and now look at this opportunity. Not even 36 minutes yet. She needs to get these 5, but a possibility to get into the medals. Strong possibility.
Guisdon in 4th place at the moment, going through 10.5. She's been overtaken by Gabi Sokolova.
Well, the first shot and the last shot. Uras Velopech there, he knows how painful that is. Shake of the head, and chance for podium over.
Petrushna, who took the win out in Canmore, winning the sprint there, hitting 10 out of 10. And it's been a mixed bag since then. She's generally had 1 shoot where she's missed 2 in every race since that victory out in Canmore. And as time goes on, I think everyone deciding that Dorin Habert is going to be the champion, so she let those sprint and pursuit titles go, but it looks as though she's going to replace it with the individual. Now that takes some doing, and if she wins the mass start, Mike, I'm trying to think of anyone who has won gold medals in all 4 disciplines. In the women's.
In the women's, we have to go a long way back. Henkel, possibly Henkel.
Wilhelm.
How did the French team do it? I think it's partly spirit, it's partly the amount of hours they spend simulating the pressure of these important 1 minute per target hits, stroke misses. And they demand a high standard. You cannot get into the French national team unless you set a shooting score that is extremely high, and that's without a pulse rate.
So there are the standings, top 10, France 1 and 2. Germany squeezing on to the podium positions at the moment. I
think the Swedish team, Ingela Andersson there, and well, as we saw earlier, some very, very good shooting from some of the young Swedish members. Next year, the year after, the next Olympics, I think they'll be challenging the medals.
Yeah, Persson certainly setting a mark early on. Lynn Persson was leading at the halfway stage for a long while, but then just let the accuracy slip in the closing stages. Trying to track down Bescond. As I said, she was in 4th after 10.5. She's gone through 11.5 now, and she's still in 4th position. What, 6-7 seconds behind Sokolova at that stage of the race, and waiting for her to come in for her final lap of the stadium here in Oslo. Going to win Hickensbottom in here.
Dahlmeier
is on the podium again.
A gold and 2 bronze.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Her 3rd medal, so she got a 1, a 2 and a 3. She's got 2nd.
If Bescond had hit all 5, she would have been in 3rd place and stayed there.
Well, welcome back to Oslo. Apologies, rather a lot going on during that commercial break. Varvinets has finished. She missed one on the last shoot. We didn't see that shoot, but she did miss one, and it's pushed her all the way down to 9th from a potential win. Bescond has been through her last shoot, and sadly she missed one. She would have been right up there, Mike, if they'd all gone down.
She would have. She would have been in 3rd place and had some 50 seconds in hand, which I think she would have held on to for that bronze medal, but it looks like it's going to Dahlmeier's way, the bronze. But the party could still be spoiled. There's, of course, Hildebrand at this stage, who was 3rd, and that is looking pretty good for the very last starter of the race.
What's your theory on the snow conditions? Do you think it's getting a little bit quicker?
Do you know, I honestly think it is. That was what some of the testers, the waxmen, were telling me even before the race. It's as if the temperature's dropped a little.
Zagariko, 18 out of 20. That's a shame about that final miss. There's our probable champion, Marie-Dorin Habert. The interviews will start, and it's great for the French team. Well, they've had plenty of success, but it's good that there's someone else getting the golds apart from Martin Fourcade.
And Anais Bescond, so good, and we don't often see Anais on the podium, but at the World Championships, and she's always got the strong head at major championships, and I'm so pleased she's silver medal at the moment and will stay that way, I think.
I must say, it's hard to believe she only got her first win a year ago, and it was a world title. The interviews can start for Marie-Dorin Habert. Her time of 44.02 looks untouchable. Anais Bescond, her teammate, in 2nd place, and Laura Dahlmeier has overtaken Sokolova and Vitkova on the final lap to go up into 3rd. So Dorin Habert, a gold, a silver and a bronze if it stays this way, Mike. Of course, Dahlmeier, a gold and 2 bronze. They're the 2 golden girls of the championship so far.
Well, that's in fact, of course, Dorin Habert, 2 gold. The team mixed relay. Gold there, silver, bronze, and now another gold.
Not a good day for the host nation. The best they've got at the moment is Birkeland, who's down in 29th. Tyrrell Eckhoff down in 39th, 2:2.01. So that remarkable 10 out of 10 in the sprint seems a long time ago. And Marta Olsbu started so well and then missed three on the first standing shoot.
Well, you can say home pressure, unsettled, wanting so much and wanting it maybe just too much instead of sticking to the relaxation that a rifle needs to feel. If there's tension through the body, it often is felt through the trigger and puts the shots off.
Yeah, a lot of athletes just missing one shot today, Mike, which might suggest that the conditions were pretty good. I think early on the conditions were difficult because they changed quite a lot between the 0 and the first races. But if we have a look down the top 10, the majority hitting 90. No one in the top 10 has hit 20 out of 20.
But only one person, of course, Julie Ransom, 19th position, hitting 20 out of 20. 16 years ago, I think the conditions were worse. I was racing at that time, and 5 of the best shot 20 out of 20 then.
Don't forget Bileman of Estonia, who has also hit 20 out of 20, but is down in 42nd position. Still a PB for her, a little bit of a shame. She's missed out on a top 40 and her first World Cup points. Well, let's have a chat with Gabi Sukalova. Here she is with Raphael Poiré, down in 5th position at the moment. So I don't know if you heard too much of what Gabriella had to say. I think really saying, Mike, she put too much pressure on herself.
In that she missed a shot early on, and she said she knew to win this one, she had to up her pace, and I think it was partly to her push too hard on the tracks, unsettled her on the range.
But she is still in 5th position. That's a good haul of World Cup points. And crucially, Dorin Habert, who is 2nd in the World Cup standings, is obviously the biggest threat to Sukalova in terms of the Crystal Globe. And Sukalova picking up points for 5th. We'll just check that out. I've lost my sheet that tells me exactly what you get for what position. We know we get 60 for the win. And so I think Dorin Habert is going to close the gap by some 20 points, which is what she did in the pursuit. And so Dorin Habert is on target to push it very close. 40 points, exactly 20 points between the two of them today. Only just over 100 points clear, Sukalova, at the start of the day. So I think the pressure is going to mount massively in that mass start. And if you miss the end of these championships, do make sure you join us for Chianti Manzese, because the last mass start of the season is a nerve-wracked occasion. And Dorin Habert is doing well enough to be close enough to Sukalova to think that she can take the title.
And Sukalova, she's had a great season, but she's dropped off here when it was 6th in the mixed relay. 4th just off the podium in the sprint, and then down to 12th. It's not like her to miss so many targets, and again today, so maybe feeling the pressure of that yellow jersey.
Well, I just wondered, I was thinking this morning it's a little unfair, and this is one of the issues, isn't it? As we watch Magdalena Guisdon on her last lap, you can see that last target. Those who are in for the big prizes in the Crystal Globe for the overall season, Mike, have added pressure at a World Championships, because these count for medals and they count for World Cup points.
Hugely. I mean, the only one that is not ever affected by pressure is Martin Fourcade. He just thrives on it and wants more successes.
Well, you say that, but last year he did say that his position in the World Cup distracted him at the World Championships, and he doesn't think he did as well at the World Championships because of that.
He often doesn't, and every time he comes to World Championships he performs less well, but for the 4th time of asking, he's managed that well. He's likely to win the 5th ever.
Yeah,
overall.
But the difference is, this time round, he's so far clear, and we're so late in the season, that it's irrelevant. He knew he had the Crystal Globe in the bag, 2-3 weeks before we came to Oslo.
Yeah, and maybe that is what's changed his mindset. He doesn't care about that. He only cares about the medals here, and that's what he stated all season, about being the best here. But the French team are just outstanding, just head and shoulders above the rest, men and women together.
Just over 400 metres for Guisdon to go. We're looking at a time outside the 45.29 from Sokolova.
Well, Guisdon, the only athlete, I know I've said it before, in this field who was here 16 years ago. She was 20-year-old then. And look at that last shot. Take that away, and well, we'll see at the end of her race, but so close to the podium, and that would have been a wonderful end to her career.
Yeah, I think top 5 was definitely possible. I'm not sure she would have matched Franziska Hildebrand, who is 110 off that, in fact 117 off the time. Dahlmeier, sensational last lap from Dahlmeier, Mike. Just looking where she was 9th position after the 4th shoot, and she was 131 behind. She's finished 117 behind and is sitting in the bronze medal position.
She is absolutely brilliant. Well, look at this. She would have gone into bronze medal without that last shot missed.
My goodness. That will keep her awake tonight. Yeah, I'm all right, thanks.
Gwizzy, I think you've wrecked it. You've sabotaged it.
Turn it off. Try the old trick. Turn it off, turn it on again and see if it comes back to life.
Zagorico.
Oh, Vera will be disappointed. But, so, the standings in the individual this year, what are they?
Yeah,
I've had them. Some. Have you got them?
Yep.
Vera needed to finish top 9, so she's got it.
She's definitely got it, isn't she? I've definitely got them. The only question is where.
Come and speak up.
There you go, Paddy. Yeah, so she wins it. Dorin Habert gets 152.
So the difference goes down at 86.
Is that right?
What's that?
I think that's because she gets 40.
Yeah, she's won it.
Oh. We have had, yeah. We can't get it working.
Welcome back to Oslo. Via Simarenko, the penultimate starter in today's women's individual, crossing the line now. 48.39, down in 44th. It's been a miserable season for her. Illness keeping her out of much of the World Cup action this season, and the Ukraine need to turn things around. But with recent doping tests, I think it's a bad spell for the Ukrainian team, Mike.
It is, and of course that was at the IBU Cup, and sadly, historically, there have been hassles there as well, and yeah,
they've been caught out with the same substance as Maria Sharapova. I was going to name it, but I'd never heard of it before.
Begins with M.
Shapanova for Slovakia, 2011. Shooting scores we talked about before, only a couple of athletes going clear. The most noticeable, Julie Ransom of Canada, still in the top 20. Ransom, that's a sensational run for her, 2:33 behind. And when you've shot clear once, you'll probably believe you can do it again. Rosanna Crawford actually hitting 19 out of 20, has finished in 14th place. So 2 Canadians in the top 20. Other results, Susan Dunkley, 1-1-1-0, just needed to be a little tidier earlier on, otherwise she would have been challenging for another top 10. Varvinets of Ukraine, 0-0-0-1, she's the best from her country. Dorothy Vera, Mike, 8th position, missing 2. Now she'll be disappointed with that, but she only had to finish in the top 9 to secure the Crystal Globe for the overall. It was mighty close with Dorin Habert because she was second in the standings and has finished just 8 points behind at the end of the season. But Vera deserves that trophy, having won the first 2 World Cups.
And not missed any target. The first 2 World Cups in this event, she hit 20 out of 20 twice. I think she'll be disappointed with today.
Of course, the overall World Cup standings also at stake today. We can tell you that Sokolova still has the lead as we have a look at the top 10 standings from today's individual race. Marie-Dorin Habert is the world champion. She adds the gold to the 2 she won out in Kontiolahti last year, having missed the retention of the title in the sprint and the pursuit earlier last week. It's been a fantastic effort from Dorin Habert. 3 medals, 3 races. She's got a full set, a gold, a silver and a bronze now. And of course, the only other one with 3 in the women's events is Lara Dahlmeier, a gold and 2 bronze. Some disappointing results as well today, Mike. The sprint gold medalist down in 43rd position.
Yes, that is an Amanda Lightfoot there in the top. I think it was 45th. We'll be happy with that one.
Aita Gasparin down in 63rd, Selena's younger sister. And Fialkova way off the mark, 7 misses, 8:54 behind. But the day belonging to the French once again, and it's Marie-Dorin Habert who takes the gold. Lara Dahlmeier always amongst the favourites, Mike, with her shooting record, but strangely enough missing 2. Phenomenal comeback on that last leg to get herself a medal.
I think so, and her strength, her mindset. But Anais Bescond, that was outstanding. She's always lifted her game for this race, and today lifted herself for the first time onto the podium.
She started exactly a minute in front of Marie-Dorin Habert, and Habert finishing just about 50 seconds behind her to take the gold medal. Well, we weren't exactly surprised to see her do well in Kontiolahti last year, Mike, but the consistency she's shown over the last 12 months has been fantastic, and she could well run Sokolova